Hello, welcome back to the ministry, and today we are talking about birthing pains. This is something that most people don't like to talk about. When you are in a season, you go through birthing pains. And the fact of the matter is, as long as you're living and as long as seasons are changing, you're going to be going through birthing pains. I was listening to the woman I listened to, Lady Jeremy, and she was talking about the other day when you were in the middle, and it isn't the first time that she's taught on being in the middle. She actually did this about 2 months ago, but you're at the end almost, and there's different levels of the middle. There's being in the middle at the beginning, there's being in the middle, and then there's being in the middle towards the end. Sometimes you're in the middle towards the end, and you're going through birthing pains. And as you're going through these pains, it doesn't look good, it doesn't feel good, and you just want it to be over. What do these birthing pains look like? What birthing pains look like manifested? You're waiting for a move of God. Maybe the Lord's telling you need to move. Everything around you is shaking up. Your situation, your environment is shaking up. The people around you are attacking you. All kinds of stuff. And you're looking at God like, well, Lord, you're saying I need to move, but there's no evidence of anything to help me do that. And my environment is shaking up. The people around me are acting up. My security is coming under attack. There's still no open door to get me out of here. And that's kind of what she was saying. She's like, you're in the middle. You know you're supposed to move. You feel you're supposed to move. And there's no evidence of it except the fact that you feel it. Or maybe this is your season that the Lord is saying that you're supposed to get married. There's no guy in sight. Matter of fact, everybody's yelling at you about the fact that, hey, you're not dating. Why aren't you dating? If you want to date, if you want to get married, you kind of have to date somebody. Anything in relation to it. Some people like to say, oh, your phone is dry. But the Lord's telling you, this is your season to get married. I already done told you who the person is. Are you going to listen to me, or are you going to listen to everything that you hear? And there's this pressing, and it's a pressure. What is the pressure there for? To push you out of place. Because what the enemy is hoping is that if he makes you tired enough, if he makes you frustrated enough, if he oppresses you enough, that you'll take the first thing he rolls into your environment, like a grenade. This is a desperate delusion. This is something that looks good on the outside, but if you take it out of, what's the word I've heard a lot of people say? Make a long-term decision for a short-term experience or situation. Because you allow the spirit of fear to control your decision making instead of sitting in the thought process and allowing the Lord to lead you. You understand what I'm saying? So what the enemy will do is he'll start throwing grenades at you to, one, distract you, to take you out of your state of peace and your ability to be in clarity with the Lord. How do you come into clarity with the Lord? Fasting. When you notice certain things acting up, fast. Fast for whatever period of time that the Spirit is telling you to fast. And yes, you're going to experience a birthing pain immediately afterwards, within 1 to 2 days. It's alright. It's just a process. It doesn't feel good, but it's moving you closer to your goal. It's moving you closer into the thing that you are waiting to see happen. Is it uncomfortable? Yeah. It's extremely uncomfortable. But you sit and wait in it. And sometimes, especially if you're the type of person that is very in control of the things that they do, or try to maintain order, when the Lord puts you in a state of, I need you to wait right here. Don't move. Don't do anything. Just wait. That's like you just gave the enemy a beacon to say, ooh, how can I disrupt this moment where she's supposed to be waiting, he's supposed to be waiting? Let me start throwing grenades at them. Birthing pains. Let me try to get them out of sorts. Birthing pains. Why? Because what it is, as I heard a minister say this once, as you're coming upon your new season, you actually acquire a new set of angels that come around you. When the enemy sees a new set of angels being deployed in your direction, he knows, oh, there's a blessing coming. If you remember, in the book of Daniel, when Daniel went on his fast, everybody says, oh, Daniel did a 21-day fast. No, Daniel only fasted 21 days because of the fact that he was waiting on an answer. Once he got the answer, he stopped. What happened? The Prince of Persia fought the angel that was coming with the answer. So the angel called in Archangel Michael and had to fight. The two of them had to fight. When you're in birthing pains, you're waiting for the answer to arrive. Sometimes it's a spiritual clarification, sometimes it's a physical manifestation, but you're waiting on that. And while you're waiting, what the enemy does is he tries to throw a bunch of things at you to distract you before that answer comes. Because you are about to either be tested or you're about to be approved. And in the midst of that, he likes to throw confusion so that you miss the information you need in order to pass your test. And it's a process that happens repetitively. It's the same sequence of events. But whatever it is, in alignment for whatever you're waiting for. Some of us are waiting for major promises. Some of us have major blessings that are coming in our direction, and it's uncomfortable. It's a process, but we have to walk through that process. I'm not actually going to make this a long word. I could have, but I'm feeling like I'm coming to the end of it. When you are in birthing pains, understand the process. And yes, go through the process several times. I don't understand. I understand how them women that are Mormons that have all those children. You remember that TV show, 17 Kids and Counting? Right now, I think they got 39 kids between grandkids and the kids that they birthed themselves. The woman was pregnant every year. And she had twins. Every year. Year in, year out. every year. That's what it's like. The Lord gives you a download. He gives you a ministry. He gives you something that he wants you to build, do, what have you. And you have to immediately are thrown into a process. And just like giving birth to a child, you take that 9 months and you birth it. And you're going to go through Braxton Hicks, false starts, all of these elements. Then you're going to get down to that last thing, and you're in the midst of your birthing pains. Most children don't get here without birthing pains, unless you get a C-section. And if it's a C-section, that means that God needs this thing done right now. So I'm sick and tired of delays. I'm going to cut it out right immediately, right here. That's when you see an immediate, drastic, dramatic cut to get the situation taken care of immediately. But then you have the pregnant woman that goes through the birthing process, and as she is birthing, she gets down to those last few pushes and she's exhausted. A lot of us are in that phase where we are exhausted. We've gone through the process. We've gone through the process of processes, and we've processed it several times over. We feel like we've gone through the entire pregnancy over and over and over, and we keep getting to this point, and we do not bring the child to bear. It's almost like a woman that carries a child, and I actually saw a story of this on Black Love, where they were talking about this couple who got pregnant. The woman went into labor, took her to the hospital, and the child was born stillbirth. She went through all of this process to go home with no child. The enemy's doing everything he can in this season in order to make sure you abort the baby, to make sure that you go home with a stillbirth. And to me, even the process that they go about after you give birth to a stillbirth is mortifyingly cruel to do to a woman that just gave birth to a child that is not alive. They literally have the woman take a photograph with the dead baby. And spiritually, I don't particularly think that's a good idea, and I don't know whether there's some type of weird spiritual thing happens with that happening, but yeah. Some of us have gone through this process over and over and over. I actually used to know a woman, God rest her soul. She became pregnant, was it 5 times? And during her last pregnancy, she passed away. She would always get to a point that she was to birth a child, and the child would always die. It would die before she had it. It was amazing when she had the one child. The one child she did end up birthing still died within about 2-3 months of having the child. And she was pregnant before she passed. She passed of unusual circumstances. And sometimes having spiritual wisdom and knowledge can be a very sad thing, because I remember I saw her that Thanksgiving, and I remember I was sitting there and I was like, oh, there she is, and my spirit said she's going to die. And I said, see, that's the way my gift works on occasion. I don't like having it do that, but it does do that sometimes. I ignored it. I said it twice. I ignored it. Within 1 week, On the actual anniversary of my own mother's death did this woman pass away while she was pregnant with her 5th child. The enemy is trying to steal the baby. Because if it can bring you to a point that you get close to birth and do not bear the child, he still wins. Pray over yourself. Pray over your womb. Pray over your children. SIDS is a real thing. Stillbirth is a real thing. Because SIDS is the child was born and then it just suddenly dies in its sleep. And they say sometimes that the SIDS, it takes the child's life without you even interacting with it. Meaning, you didn't roll over and smother it. You didn't lay the child on the wrong way and it suffocated in the middle of the night. Your child just stopped breathing. Sudden infant death syndrome. The devil wants your children. The devil wants your promises. Pray. Cover them. Cover them in the blood of Jesus Christ. Go through the process. But you cover that promise because the enemy is trying to snuff it out very hard right now because he knows the promises are coming. And the enemy's coming with witchcraft. The enemy's coming with all kinds of assignments in the season in order to try to stop the birthing and the manifestation of the promises of God in the children of God's lives. So you are going through the birthing pains, but you are going to deliver a healthy child. You're going to deliver a thriving promise. You just have to go through the process. You have to cover and protect the babies. In this season, there's a spirit of Herod that is running rampant, that desperately desires. That's why you see with certain legislations, there's still a desire to allot the ability for, with these legislations, that they're going to circumvent and go around them in order to continue to kill the babies. Pray. Stay prayed up. Get a prayer partner. Pray over your promises. Go through the birthing pains. It's a process, but it's worth it in the end. You will not give birth to a stillborn baby. You will not abort the process. You will not stop the process. You're going to push this baby out, and it's going to be smoother than you think. And it's going to be worth it when you hold that child in your hand. Whatever that child is. Whatever that business is. That book is. That whatever it is. That marriage. It's never just for the ring. But it feels so good when you have it and you have the guy that the Lord told you. Is war stop? No, it's a ring. And you enter a ring. But you still go through the process. You just know how to handle it better. You ever hear them say that when a woman gives birth to one child, every child she has after that is easier to birth. So, go through the birthing process. It hurts. It's painful. But it's worth it when you hold whatever that child is, even if that child is actually a child. I find it so funny. I'm going to be well ready to handle birthing children when I actually birth children, because I have yet to birth a physical child. But oh, these spiritual babies are one for the history books. So I hope this blessed you. For the ministry, LFPB Ministries, much love, faith, peace, and blessings. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. Bye-bye.